Alright, so do you want to see Bruce Campbell as Van Helsing in a town full of vampires?
It's all you love and know. It's Cannibal Video.
Alright guys, today we're talking about Sundown, the Vampire in Retreat. 1989 Sundown, the Vampire in Retreat. Lee, had you seen this one before?
Absolutely not. I'm not sure how I missed it, but I've never even heard of it.
This is the Bruce Campbell one that I had not seen either, and Bruce Campbell is one of my favorite actors.
I was gonna say.
I've had this movie in mind for a long time, so it wasn't like I didn't know it existed.
Yeah.
But just never got around to it. And David Carradine too, who's also you know like my favorite autoerotic asphyxiator.
Certainly top 10.
So what's this about? Give me like a tiny elevator pitch.
So this is as we mentioned, we have Bruce Campbell, David Carradine in there. There is a town. You might say the vampires have retreated there.
Oh.
It's ironically in the middle of the desert, but they are trying to live a peaceful life. They're trying to live off of synthetic blood and keep up appearances and not do that. But a faction amongst them wants to return to the old ways.
Okay.
And those two factions are going to fight it out. Over what to do.
When I first read the title, I pictured it as, because it's like a town of vampires, I'm like, oh, it's a vampire retreat.
Oh, like a vacation.
They're there just having a good time. There's no humans to bog them down.
Almost.
A retreat.
Almost true.
But yeah, so give me a non-spoilers. Like, you like it, don't like it?
I did. I think there's a bit too much of it, but the parts that I liked about it were enough, and it's fun. It hits a really good tone of this time period of the kind of comedy
zany
that I'm into. And the people that are in it are people that I like enough that it's just cool to see them kind of doing their thing. I don't think David Carradine is super impressive in this. Bruce Campbell's not in it as much as I would have liked.
Yeah.
But again, there's enough interesting things that make you go like, what is happening? Or that make me want to recommend people see this if you have not seen it and you have any reason to like it at all.
Exactly. Bruce, big feature on the front of the cover, but he's not even mentioned from the back of the box. Like, aside from like he is in this, his character is not mentioned. So like you don't go into it, if you did any research, expecting a whole lot of him. I only really knew about this movie his bad mustache because he's talked about it before.
Oh, interesting.
But I would recommend it.
Did he grow that, or was that applied?
That's his mustache, and that's why it's funny.
Okay. Whereas it sucks, and you're like.
There's some fun effects. There's weird stuff. There's definitely things that broke new ground. Worth watching. If you've seen it or don't care, follow us over to spoilers, and if not, pull out now.
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video and we eat the competition.
All right, guys, here we are for the spoilers of Sundown, the Vampire in Retreat. So this one has a lot of forward-thinking ideas that we've definitely seen in other things.
Yes.
And that's super cool. To be maybe the first for some of these concepts.
In a weird kind of way. Like, I remember feeling like certain ideas, like nothing's ever the first. But,
of course.
When you have, like, vampires wearing sunscreen in Blade, I was like, yay.
Sunblock. Hey, it's a start, right?
Yes.
And when you have, like, synthetic blood and what are the social ramifications of this in, like, True Blood, I'm like, wow, cool.
You boys got something for me to drink?
This blood's for you.
New ideas, right? And then I find out this fucking movie is sitting there the whole time with all these ideas in it.
Exactly.
And that's gotta be enough to get a cop to believe that something happened.
Even the wooden bullets. I was like, had I seen wooden bullets before this?
What kind of bullets can kill vampires? Ah!
Wooden one.
Maybe. I can't recall the exact moment I first saw things like that. They're not too dissimilar from a crossbow bolt, but they did make it, like, I guess, with the amount of ingenuity they put into making a sunblock to be out in the day and like blood that makes them not to hurt humans, you'd think that like that wouldn't be the thing that catches you by off guard so much. What? A repeating shot weapon? My God, how does it defeat you? And you think it's going to be some sort of like, because he mentions, it splinters on impact.
Splinters on impact.
Shane, you are a genius.
That somehow gets you no matter where it hits you, but no, you gotta hit him in the heart. Because the first time you see it, a cowboy guy on a horse like bursts through and shoots a guy in the stomach, and you're like, oh, so what are the rules? Interesting.
What's happening?
And then he shoots him again in the heart, you're like, oh.
The heart. I told you.
Only the heart.
Yes.
That makes sense. What are these magical bullets?
Have you seen wooden bullets since?
I believe I have.
Because I know Underworld has like UV bullets
Ultraviolet ammunition.
and silver
Yeah,
bullets.
they have
and all
UV
that
bullets.
shit, right? Yeah. So like, you know, even just and like they show them here, it's like a bullet, and he says like, you know, fortified wood or like something like that, petrified wood. Yeah. No, cool idea.
It's a hollow point, except it's not hollow. It's full of wood.
It's got wood in it. Yeah. I feel like it's just like even like a steak. Maybe this is a universe where you can like take it out, but the splintering is just like, it's like it's like injecting silver into a werewolf.
Does anyone even get staked in this? We see them make steaks and grab stuff.
And pop into the Count's vile reign.
You know,
but we don't actually see someone get
Bruce
staked.
Campbell, like, you know, has one and kind of like wiles it around. But
That's a likely story.
Bruce Campbell plays the latest Van Helsing.
So good. Even this is amazing.
And it's reminiscent in some ways to kind of like an Army of Darkness, where it's like this goofy, over the top thing. We see like a gas station attendant slap a man's head off his body.
Yeah.
Like fun stuff happens.
Ain't that a shame?
A little slower than I would like.
Overall?
You know, in general pacing for what kind of movie this is.
Yes.
Because it's not like, it's a comedy mostly. Like there are some horror elements, there are some fun practical effects, there are some cool bats and shit.
The biggest failing of the movie is the, I don't even want to say the length, but just like, it's like pacing doesn't fit its like genre style.
It's about 20 minutes too long,
Yes.
in my opinion. And I
Like,
think you could have cut a lot of things out of this. Like the family and honestly, you probably could have cut out the whole thing about the blood. No, but hear me out here.
Agreed.
Like, I don't think you need it.
The hell with the house, the hell with the plan, the hell with everything.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yes, you end up with the reason for the head vampire, or like the leader. He's not even the leader. He's like the second in command of the bad vampires, Rex Manning.
Aim carefully. I want the Harrison woman and the blonde child taken alive.
From you know,
Okay, Shane. Rex
Yeah,
Manning.
you have a back and forth because he slept with his wife when he was a human, and he may or may not be the father of his daughter.
On this wild night, you and my daughter. I told David about Juliet. You should have seen his face.
And that's some stuff that honestly I don't really need. You could pull it right out. Like you could have shifted any screen time those guys had, cut it in half, just give it to Bruce, and I think it would have been a better movie.
Like I do like, you know, in particular that scene and like those scenes.
There are a couple of good ones.
But I agree with you in like service of making a better movie. The tone of this was not the tone, because like I actually do love how like the husband gets cucked and like beat up by the vampire.
Yeah.
Like how is he so strong? Maybe I'm not a man.
I used to love to see her on her knees.
And then goes back and cries to his wife.
I mean, it's bad enough that you ever slept with him, but for you to do it after we were married, and the way he lords over me, it's to hell with you.
Like, this motherfucker, I can't be here anymore. He's fucking lording over me. Like, this is ridiculous. And
Well, because he is like,
he
like
is
a super prick.
He's a super prick.
Does your wife still whimper when she comes? He's like,
It's amazing.
No one should know that about my wife.
Does Sarah still whimper when she comes? Or does she still come?
And say it in front of like a room full of people.
Yeah.
It's crazy. No, it's all justified. That's what I mean. Like this like delves into more of this family drama than a lot of the other movies that we talk about that involve a family, where there's a kid doing something weird or a parent doing something weird, right? This is really getting at like the heart of some of this stuff, but this is not the movie for that.
Does it still hurt that I had your wife?
Does it still hurt that she dumped you for me?
Well, she needed someone she could push around. A whimper.
Asshole.
This movie is about like weird redneck Western vampire fights with each other. David Carradine, like it has a whole other tone going on.
Like 100 other parasites. Like tapeworms, like fleas, like fungus. That's how special vampires are.
David Carradine, spoilers, who's Dracula.
Yeah, they don't actually say it, right? They just kind of...
They allude.
The last thing you will ever see will be the face of the greatest vampire the world has ever known. It can't be. He died. He died, I tell you.
And his name is like Remulock or something, where you're like, let me move to carry the two, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's like that thing,
And at the very end, I'm going to put Dr. Acula across the screen. Take that period, get it out of there, squish it together. It'll say Dracula.
And that's interesting. I like that weird effect, which almost feels like it's behind the times of when they are vampire bats flying around. It looks so weird.
Mister, Speaking of forever, what can kill us anyway?
The sun?
No longer. Sunscreens have changed things. Daylight is merely uncomfortable for us.
That I kind of love it. It's like a
Yes.
weird, like Pee-wee's Playhouse kind of effect.
Holy shit! No, the bats. Once you get to the bats, they turn into bats.
I promised you strength and more. All you must do is fight one night for me.
One
Literal
bat has a
bats.
beard.
Where do you think you're going?
Just to pay a visit.
Naked?
Yes, because the guy has a beard.
It's like an Amish dude.
Yeah, and like there's beards, there's bats, and then that's an excuse for him to be naked and show up at the one point.
Yes.
I guess we should delve into that. Shane, who like the wife should recognize, so I don't understand why.
Well, she never saw his face.
I told you, Mommy, it wasn't a bat, it was a vampire.
You see? Do you see what you're turning your daughter into?
But he turned into like a
No,
a
the
human
scene
briefly.
works perfectly where as the Batman. Batman is about to be on her and transforms into a person. She's looking at her kids. The kids see Shane.
That it's Shane?
Yeah,
Okay.
but she never sees his face. It's like this
Okay.
perfect thing because he only turns for a split second.
I feel like okay, that's fine.
She should have felt the full weight of a human bearing down on her. But
What kind of
also, depending on how magic works, the bat should also weigh like 150 pounds.
Magic though. No, it's like magic bat.
That magic though.
The magic. It's a magic bat transformation. So that happens. There's just bats talking to each other.
Have they gone yet?
Quiet.
And the beards to identify who's who if like
Yeah.
the voices don't tip it off. Then that guy Jefferson, I think his name is. I don't know. The like elder Amish cowboy looking dude. Second.
He's probably
in
like a
command.
Puritan. Like I don't know what he is.
Okay. Settler, whatever you want to
Yeah,
call it.
something.
So he has to recruit some punks, right?
Why?
So-
Who knows?
Well, because he needs like a whole cave full of lackeys now to like wage his vampire war. Anyway, fucking all the exposition about what it means to be a vampire now, he's turned them into vampires, and now they are as bats. Weird fake looking bats flying through the night.
What if you're not?
You fry like fat on a griddle.
What else?
Precious little. A beheading, a wooden stake through the heart.
Can we be killed by sunlight? Why, yes, you can. It's the most demented thing ever. It's
Well,
perfect.
what's ridiculous is when he goes back to that cave you just mentioned. It's like oh, that guy's in the Civil War. That guy's a Marine. This guy's like a Hatfield McCoy. Like
it's weird.
Weird punk twisted face bitch. And then like these ones from right now. It's like, has he been collecting for 100 years? Shouldn't he? If it's that easy, shouldn't he be able to go out in one night, turn a whole club of people, and just bring them back? They seemingly turn into your slaves when
have
convenient.
ravers.
Because the two that brought in from the town, the head knocked off friend guys.
No one is going to believe us. I wouldn't believe it. Who is going to believe that some relic with a sombrero knocked off Tom's head with a backhand?
They don't immediately become slave vampires. They just become people. And it's not even clear who turned them. It could have been the cowboy guy. It could have been anybody.
It was the old dude.
You think it was the prospector-looking guy?
Yeah, because he says it was that or kill you.
While you were sleeping, didn't have a choice. It was either that or kill you. It's not such a bad life, death, whatever you want to call it.
Gotta do this.
Well, he does say that, yes,
Yeah.
but he doesn't specifically say, I had to turn you. Because those were the two options that they pretty much said what you have for being in this town, knowing
It's not
we are
so
vampires.
bad.
You're either going to die or you're going to become one of us. And not that they were given an option, but while they were sleeping, turned them.
That's a great scene. When
It
he
is.
Wakes up, go like this, and she's like, ah! And then breaks the door down accidentally. I'm like, oh, this is so campy and fun.
Alice, smile for me. What? Smiling. Go like this.
This is perfect.
There's another one of those scenes with the old prospector-looking guy who bursts through the brick wall and escapes out there.
That is, I think, Emmett Wall. No, I learned his name because I was like, you motherfucker, I've seen you everywhere. He's done voice acting, acting, television, movies. He's the man. He was a voice on Big Guy and Rusty.
Kid, you're just a head.
And you're still my chief mechanic.
I looked up his fucking page. You love that show. I'm
Yes.
saying this to you.
Emmett Walsh is his name.
Walsh, okay, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, but he got me pissed!
That's gonna put our butts in the sun.
So motherfucker has over 200 credits. If you've seen his face, you know you've seen him before in movies before.
Definitely.
He's charming in this as like one of the three brothers of these old dudes whose job it is to like watch the road coming into the town and warn everybody. When that dude's driving in, it's like false alarm.
False alarm! Forget it. Never mind. False alarm, Otto. You folks, never mind.
Hi, Mabel, false alarm. And they all go, fuck. And they have to, because they're just pretending to be in like a town.
Yeah, there's like
So much of
moldy
that.
hamburgers because
Yeah.
they don't eat.
I can't look at this hamburger one more minute, right? Like them trying to put the appearance on of a town is
Yeah.
such a cute, fun, endearing bullshit thing. It's great.
That's it. I can't bear to look at that hamburger another minute. Food, shit, how'd I ever eat it?
Then there's what's his face, Buck Flower, who you may know from a movie we reviewed, Tammy and the T-Rex. He plays one of the sheriff guys in that.
Three! Damn it, I said three! Go right!
Holy
and
shit.
he plays like the deserter traitor guy who switches sides midway through the battle.
And he's like a literal cowboy. He's like the one
Kinda.
wearing like the leather and stuff, yeah.
This little candy-ass artificial bloodsucker! Don't push it. What are you gonna do about it?
And then we already mentioned David Carradine, Bruce Campbell, obviously. You know, your biggest names in the movie.
What's the matter? You afraid to tell him your real name?
Do I know you?
Me? No.
Max Caulfield is Rex Manning, if we didn't say that before.
Yeah, I was very thrown because he's talking with fangs in for a little bit, and I was like, you look like someone, I know you.
Takes me a while to figure out the real reason they need a blood plant. So then they make me into a vampire. Voila.
But like as a weird thing, and I'm like searching. He's
He's the perfect douche in everything he says.
He's great. He's like a great douche in this. One of the two out-of-towners too, the younger dude, is one of the guys, Bobby Briggs from Twin Peaks.
You want to know who killed Laura? You did!
So I was like, oh, it's you. Him too. I was like, you're famous. Who are you? Are you one of the California Dreams? I don't think so. You would know, obviously. But I'm like, you're some young weirdo.
Convertus, what's he talking about?
You've picked a bad spot for a camping trip.
So like a line that like bothered me was like, where are the girls? Oh, they went to town. Are you sure? I think so.
Are you sure the girls went into town?
Yeah, I think so.
You're not sure? Your kids are like, what did they say, like 8 and 6 or something? Like they might have gone to town, a strange town, on bicycles that I don't think you brought with you because I didn't see them in the car.
Whoa.
And then like the
runs so
kids
deep.
are going through like just about to like walk into a town against these villagers where they're gonna like murder these two people.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, act normal. Hi, girls.
Hello.
Hello.
When the entire town goes hi, it's like it's that's an amazing moment.
Oh yeah.
Worth every penny.
Hi. Hi. Bye.
That might be the best thing with the girls in it.
Yeah.
Aside from when the mom's like, if you hide, we'll get you McDonald's. Big Macs? One each? Okay.
Good hiding place?
The best, but you can't come out yet.
Mom.
McDonald's.
Big Mac? Each.
Deal. Hide.
And then she shoves him back into the coffin.
How much do you think
like,
Big McDonald's paid for that ad?
Wow. Diegetic advertisement for McDonald's.
Thing of beauty.
Bruce Campbell is not in this a lot, but I really enjoy his contributions to this. This is, I don't want to say peak Bruce, but this is like a young Bruce.
Yes.
This is a powerful Bruce. He pours dirt out of his shoe at the gas station.
My car broke down and I've been walking all night.
Sorry to hear it.
Then he sees a hot chick and he's got to like tussle his hair and I'm so nervous.
Oh, yeah.
Right? He's really leaning into his like he's not just Van Helsing's ancestor. He's like a fail son. He's like a hapless fuck trying desperately to take on the mantle of his relative, right? And it all culminates. It's a love story, right?
Now, no bat stuff or anything like that. You hear me?
You know, you're very cute.
Yeah.
The female vampire, who's like age appropriate, quote unquote, is like, I like him though, right? And it's actually kind of twisted because David Carradine says, a vampire in love with a human. This is more than I could have ever hoped for.
What we have here is a vampire in love with a human. Better integration than I could possibly have dreamed.
And then she goes like, can I turn him into a vampire? And he's like, oh yes, of course, immediately. She just like bites him, and then it's like, oh, okay, great.
What can we do with him?
I think what's funny about this movie is like it's a goofy movie, but it's so over dramatic at times for like no reason. Like that guy dealing with his wife cheating on him is like so like I'm like, okay, she's cheating on you. It's a comedy movie. Shut the fuck up.
Why can't you just lie to me? Just swear that you love me and that it never happened.
Worst part of that is when I think they're outside and like the dad is just crying and looking into the distance.
I love you, Sarah.
I love you too.
And the wife comes over. It's like Gone with the Wind. The wife comes over and says like, let's leave right now. We'll take the kids. We can do it. And he's like, I don't know. And it's crazy.
Let's get the girls and let's go home. We can work it out, but not here.
Contrast that with him chopping up like a mansion that looks kind of like a church. Throwing all the wood onto the roof, and then somehow, in a moment with no tools or abilities, makes a cross.
Do you mind telling me what you're doing?
We're going up on the roof.
That for a moment I thought was a magic cross. Because I was like, why is it not hurting any of the good vampires? And then you realize it's because God has forgiven them.
We have been forgiven. At last. We have been forgiven.
But they dropped that line earlier, right? Like, again, this movie has like David Carradine does the speech. He's like, you were in the sewers eating rats, and you were crying to me. You'd killed a 10-year-old boy.
You made your home in the sewers. You killed winos. You, farmers' children.
And then like the whole town gets like convinced that's like, okay, maybe your way is better. And he caps it off with like because maybe someday we can earn the forgiveness of our Creator.
A faint hope that we might finally make peace with our Maker.
Right? And that's it, just in the middle of this movie that's way too long.
Yes.
So by the end, you've forgotten, and then you're like, oh, the cross, and like the bad guys are bursting into flames.
Yes, some exploding.
Yeah. They establish how bad the cross is because when Bruce Campbell wakes up, it's still on his neck. It's like burning him.
But that's
and
where
stuff.
I get the problem. Is that
no? This cross is bigger and more powerful. Therefore, it's the size of the cross.
All the other vampires, you could say like, oh, it's because they did wretched things. They were evil. Yeah. That's why the cross got them. The fact that the cross hurts Bruce from the beginning. Bruce was a vampire hunter who was turned 1 minute ago, who's never wronged anybody. But it burns him.
It's taken me years to finally trace you here, to finally fulfill my family's destiny.
This is the concept of original sin that you would know about.
I just thought, I was like, I loved that the cross burns Bruce.
That's a cool thing.
That's great, but it directly contradicts the idea that the cross doesn't hurt everybody.
His not even Pratt doing, but just like physical comedy.
Oh, he's a star.
Of like getting it off of him and then going, it's like still in his hand. And he goes, fuck, it hurts my hand too. Like that whole like realization.
No, he's a fantastic actor.
That little beat there is perfect.
I would only love for him to do 100 more things when he was younger.
If he had gone back in time and made more movies, it would have been great.
Yeah. Does he have any kids that look exactly like him that want to act in the movie?
We can only hope.
Are you ready to die, Count?
You von Helsings never learn, do you? Sandy.
I wonder. I actually have no idea if he has
no kids.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know if he has.
Balls were severed in a strange ball accident.
Some like Ash comment. It's like, solid wood. Can't do anything.
Did I give you wood? What? Huh? You get a little mahogany from that, a little ebony? Come on, tell the truth.
Speaking of Bruce, I love when he first bursts in through the skylight. Really, he's kicked and kind of falls through the skylight. But like the family is there, you know, like Count Dracula's there, and he just like bursts. Ah!
Count Martulac.
Like thuds through, and like almost no one bats an eye that a man just fell through the skylight, has glass like coming out of his shoulder.
But you may remember my great-grandfather, Von Helsing, Sr.
He's
talking about people being vampires and murder, and the family's like, I think we should go now.
You guys have a thing happening here. We don't want to get in the middle of it. It's the least strange thing that's happened to them. So they're like, what are you going to do?
Kinda.
These people are crazy. Trying to leave?
Yeah.
That's enough. Sarah, it's time to go. Everybody is Looney Tunes around here.
I do think it's also funny that whenever a door opens, people are like,
yes.
Because at certain points, I'm like, aren't you covered in suntan lotion? Like, what? And then I'm like, well, maybe it's to cover their direct eyeballs, because their eyeballs don't have suntan lotion on them, and the sun could hit them through the eyeball. They all have their umbrellas and their big sombrero hats and their gloves.
Big sunglasses, big comical sunglasses.
Yeah,
there's a whole
makes sense.
There's a whole vibe going on in the town.
Humans and vampires ain't never gonna coexist.
There's a lot of comedy to be mined from that. I thought at certain points it gets kind of cringe, like when there's like Otto and Elsa or something.
Oh, come on, Liebchen.
Mein Liebchen.
Anna and I outlived our children. There's no greater sadness.
Shushato. That was a long time ago.
And then someone's like, do you have any garlic? He's like, garlic?
Excuse me, do you have any garlic?
Garlic? There?
I was like, okay, we just stepped over the line. But then they kind of come back over the line. I'm like, okay, fine.
And there's an incredible amount of damage done. When you look at like both sides, they are torn up.
Oh God!
When it gets to the end and like the actual giant cross burns all the bad guys, there's only like 7, 8 bad guys left, and there's like 5 good guys. Like it's
yeah.
totally.
I mean, there's probably
they decimated
more in different areas. Like
I don't know.
A lot of that. So like
I think everyone came to the front line.
We talked about the pacing being weird. So like I think there's like a half an hour left to go when you are in full-on shootout mode. And there's a lot of confusing. We're not going to be able to show it because it'd be like one interrupted long clip, but it's like there's a lot of confusing, like someone's breaking through a door here and then someone else is there. And they turn around to face this here and then
hand over your guns, punks.
Someone pops up from there. And then it cuts to there. And like you leave the facility.
They got away. Back to the horses.
They're leaving town.
Town full of crazies.
They're not crazies, Daddy. They're vampires.
And they go back to town.
Take your children. Try and make it back.
And something there's a lot of movement that is unnecessary, and it should just be like a linear, like escalation of something.
Move as fast as you can.
We will. Thank you.
Sure. Our good guys also got guns like really quickly.
Yes.
I did think there was a funny moment when David Carradine shows up in like the old school mafia style car.
Yeah.
And he has like the untouchables of crossbows.
Yes.
And like even the music cue that comes in on that.
Yeah.
That was really nice. But they weren't like these badasses. You kind of thought like you'd be like, I'm so old and vampiric. Oh man, look how quick I reload. Oh, you got this. But like they still kind of get decimated.
Like you really needed David Carradine. Like this needed just a touch of, not like the John Bon Jovi vampires. But some like Vampire Lestat type, like.
I only wanted to prepare you. Don't be frightened.
Like something in there to be like David Carradine shows up, there's been this pitched battle, something happens, the one guy goes to shoot him, kind of like they do a shootout, and that's the proxy with no money for this, but you needed David Carradine to be like suddenly behind him, grabbing the gun, having moved it away, and being like, oh shit, wait, he's too fast for us to shoot properly.
Well, because
what do we do?
There's a line where it's like we'll never be able to take him in close combat, but we can beat him with the guns.
Our strength is in these. If we get into hand-to-hand combat, we don't stand a chance.
Yeah.
So there should have been something about them using close combat ever.
Exactly.
Because there's the bit where even when they're being chased into the blood-making facility and they have the door battling around, they could have bottlenecked and attacked them as they came in the door, but no, they square off with their stuff. And I'm like, what? I thought you were supposed to be crazy. Like, he towers through a brick wall, which means he could probably shatter skulls like it's nothing.
Yeah, like this was begging for the because the one cop we haven't mentioned,
Jamaican cop,
and they play like cringy music, like it's a product of its time.
His character's name was something ridiculous too. Did you catch it?
No.
I saw it in the credits. I forget what it was.
Was it like a yikes type of thing?
It was something. No, it was like what? What's his name?
Okay. But he has a thing like, I'm 135 years old. I'll destroy you. You're just a child. Because like Shane was just turned like a year, like a couple years before.
Ago,
yeah. So like they established that this is the world where the older you are as a vampire, the more powerful you are.
I like that world.
And the coolest thing to do in that world is to have people like Emmett Walsh and like maybe like a young kid and somebody like this motley little crew of people, like the French Duke looking guy. Certain people unexpectedly are the most powerful guys.
Exactly.
Just because they randomly happen to be old, right?
Yeah.
The Blade series has like a young child who's like 400 years old and is fucking badass.
Honey, are you okay?
I will be in a moment.
Like weird stuff like that would have been
because you stay the age you were when you turn.
exactly.
So you could be any age. It's impossible to tell.
And just like how much time your blood has had to marinate in that cursed juice, raises your power level slowly. So yeah, you could have had fun stuff, which they like. All this stuff gets paid lip service to with Emmett Walsh smashing through the wall, like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a young man anymore.
You trick, old man.
Just uses his face like and like goes through the wall, right? And then that like shootout where it's like David Carradigan's faster, right? But I think the budget for this,
he's like faster, like a normal gunman would be faster.
Slightly faster, yeah. There was nothing supernaturally fast about that, or some weird, like you thought you got me, you already got him or something. Yeah, I wanted something like that to happen, and not like just to instantly fix it, where David Carradine just like there's like a blur that goes through the whole crowd. And he has all the guns, so some dumb thing.
I honestly
like that.
would have liked something dumb like that because it's a goofy movie.
Yeah.
It should be something dumb.
Right.
If you're a bat with a beard, he should be a fast dude with all the guns.
He should be just a pile of guns and like be bending them, like dude.
It should be like
no guns allowed in town and just destroy. Yeah.
It should be like a scene from like Kill Bill where he like and then just like blood just shooting everywhere.
Yes, there should be a little. This was $3 million, but a long time ago.
Yeah.
But a lot of that money, I think, went into these large-scale shootouts that are very boring.
There was another way over.
Marshall, I'm gonna take David through the passageway.
We've got to stay together.
Compared to what you should have
It reminds me of Nothing But Trouble in the sense that there are like locations and scenes and all these people and things where I'm like, yes, you were in this is a town, you built a thing, like there's stuff.
Yeah.
And I like that. I just feel like it was a little squandered because like it's a little loose, there's a little bit too much fluff. It's not as tight as it could be.
The ending's not tight enough, right? And there's no like, had the rebellious vampires been wanting to maybe destroy the blood factory, and then it's like the human and like the other people, and everyone's like centered around that. Like, don't let them destroy the stuff or something.
Maybe if it wasn't that he was incompetent and couldn't follow plans to build it.
Well, it must have been installed by the construction crew.
No, I'm afraid not, Shane. It's your mistake. You specified it right here. You're a heck of an engineer, Shane.
It was actually sabotaged.
Sabotaging it?
Yeah.
I'm not even clear if that's it or not. Yeah, maybe that was supposed to be that, and they just did it so poorly.
Because it would be better if it's like, oh no, it's sabotage. We're trying to starve out the people in here so that they don't have any blood. Then when we do the coup, they're more likely to turn to our side because they're starving.
Exactly.
And only the ones that have the best, like moral fortitude could possibly stay on Dracula's side. But it's not that. It's bad.
Well, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah, so I think that we agree that too long, feels too long, has some gem moments with some cool people, but overall, not a stellar movie.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's alright.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever.
Fuck these motherfuckers.
Flap, flap, flap.
Cannibal Video has everything you need. A wide array of VHS and DVDs. We ate the competition, now it's only us. Our expert staff opinion